All right, there we go. Welcome to the Too Much to Say podcast, episode 12.5, and the first episode of Too Much to Say Sports, where we're going to cover this weekend sports. We're going to cover the World Cup because it is June 7th, the week of June 17th. We're going to cover Fortnite, and we're going to cover some NBA draft. So let's go ahead. We're actually going to start with the World Cup. Going a little bit, the format's going to be a little bit different here. We're not actually going to have the weekly random, no Reddit shower thought. We're just going to hop straight into the sports this week because we had a great week. The World Cup has been some spicy stuff, especially today with Germany. But let's go ahead, start off with the World Cup. I hope you've been watching. We've had some stellar performances and less than stellar. I just wanted to cover actually the top 6 teams, those we were expecting to do the best, starting with Argentina, who has looked absolutely dreadful. They have tied one game and lost one game, and that last loss was pathetic. They look lost on the pitch. If you want the truth, they look like looks like the Cavaliers. You got Messi, you got LeBron, and then you've got a bunch of just refuse wandering aimlessly around the field, and it's just crazy because they looked great before. I mean, they're one of the top ranked teams in the world. And I mean, I know FIFA rankings don't mean everything, but when you're ranked number 5, you shouldn't be just getting the living shit kicked out of you. When you come to the World Cup, I mean, the World Cup at the end of the day is the only thing that matters. It shouldn't be 3-0 Croatia. You shouldn't be playing against Iceland, which is like a state, one of the United States. The entire United States couldn't make the World Cup, which is to our shame. But Iceland's like having one of those 50 states make the World Cup and then go play against one of the juggernauts, the number 4 team in the world, and they get a tie. Now, mind you, Messi, he missed a penalty, and that's 100% his fault. But this World Cup run is not his fault. That 3-0 Croatia beating was not his fault. Messi, when he's gotten the ball, has looked fantastic. But for some reason, Messi's in the midfield. For some reason, he's the person trying to get the ball to the strikers. It makes absolutely no sense. And they have looked absolutely dreadful. They are not technically eliminated. They could come back. They have to play against Nigeria. I think they have to beat Nigeria, and then they have to have Croatia beat Iceland, which both things are possible, which is just crazy. But it is just it's pathetic. They don't deserve to move on. I mean, if they do, they go out and get a result, then good for them. And we'll I guess we'll have Argentina, 4th ranked Argentina, just getting in by the skin of their teeth. But man, it has been a pathetic showing. I give them a solid F for for this performance. Now they're 2 games in, so they do have one more game. But man, it has been physically painful to watch them try to put what semblance of a soccer team they actually have out on that pitch. But the good news is that Argentina is the worst performing of our other soccer teams. Not to say that all the other major soccer teams are playing awesome. In fact, I'm only going to give an A to one of them. Let's actually cover them. They played today. Belgium. Belgium went out and just has they've been the best team in the World Cup this this year. They've been out there today. They scored 5 goals. They beat the team 5-2. Hold on, where are you? They beat Tunisia 5-2. And now I know Tunisia is not like a soccer powerhouse, but England only beat Tunisia 2-0, and they scrapped and scraped for those 2 goals. So to see Belgium go out there and get a 5-2 result, and then a 3-0 result against Panama. Now, I mean, Belgium, despite getting an A, they are not invincible. Their defenses look rather sad at some points. That's the reason they gave up 2 goals against Tunisia. But their offense has looked just fantastic. They have the most goals by anybody but Russia. And Russia, I'm going to be honest, I got no clue what's happening there. It may be some home cooking, but with Russia, I mean, Belgium's the 3rd-ranked team in the world. So to see them come out and dominate, you kind of expect that. But Russia's not even in the top 50. Russia's number 70. And they're out there just beating the brakes off kids. They've got 8 goals and only given up 1. Mind you, those were against Egypt and Saudi Arabia. But the other team in the group is Uruguay, and Uruguay's only scored a goal against each of them. So to have them go out there and just 8 goals to 1, I mean, home cooking. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like there, some. I mean, I've got no proof, but some money getting slipped under the table. There's no reason that Russia should be out there 8-1, and that's why they're not. I don't even have them. They're not even sniffing the top 6. Or they're not. I wasn't even planning on talking about them. They're just a sideshow. I think they're going to run into a real team. We'll see what happens against Uruguay. Uruguay hasn't looked that great. I mean, they have 2 wins, which is all winning is everything. But to do that 1-0, 1-0, that's not saying much. Especially against Egypt and Saudi Arabia, who got beaten 5-0 and 3-1. 5-0 for 5-0 by Russia. Saudi Arabia, it was Russia 5, Saudi Arabia 0, and Egypt 1, Russia 3, and then they go up against Uruguay and each of them get blanked 1-0. Says something, but we'll see. But the other team, this is, I mean, in my opinion, should be one of the most important stories of the World Cup is Spain. And Spain firing their coach literally 48 hours before the World Cup started because they didn't like that he was going to be the coach of Real Madrid and didn't tell them. Even though he said, I'm not going to be the coach until after the World Cup. They didn't like it, so they fired him. And yet, amazingly, now Spain hasn't been fantastic. They drew 3-3 against Portugal. But to be honest, those goals were 2 of Portugal's goals. I mean, mind you, Cristiano Ronaldo scored all of them, but 2 of them one was a penalty and one was a free kick. I mean, they're goals, they count. But if you're Spain, you're not that concerned. I mean, yeah, you need to shore up your defense a little bit. Don't give up a free kick. Don't give up a penalty. Don't foul. Just play good defense. But I'm just saying, you're not that concerned about how everything's going. And so you get that 3-3 and you go back out the next game and you get a nice tidy 1-0 over Iran. 1-0 is not much, it's a win. And all you got left is Morocco. I mean, most likely they're going to go out there and get that last victory and move on. So I mean, I give them, to be honest, I give them a B. They're not looking amazing, but that three, I feel like that 3-3 against Spain was a little bit fluky, and a 1-0. I mean, the 1-0. Honestly, I feel like the 1-0 against Iran is worse than the 3-0 or the 3-3 draw against Portugal. I mean, Iran actually did look good, and Spain, they just can't finish. They couldn't get into the goal. They had tons of attempts, but they just couldn't get into the goal. And that's one of the main reasons I have Belgium as an A. Belgium, I mean, not only are they getting lots of attempts, but Lukaku's just looked amazing. Mertens has looked good. Um, Hazard's looked good. Hazard had two. Lukaku had two this game, and then Lukaku has four. He's tied with Ronaldo, leading for the Golden Boot. So, Spain, solid B. They'll be in the next round. That was the goal. We're gonna get to Germany. I'm gonna save Germany. Germany was our Germany. Whoo today. I hope you caught that game. If you didn't, you need to at least catch that final goal. But let's see. I should just do this in order of the. Yeah, I should have started from the back, work to the front. Oh wow, Switzerland's number 6. So yeah, next team we've got is France. Oh, hold on, let me put my phone. There we go. World Cup 2018 in Russia. Now France has started this cup off 2-0, but it hasn't. I don't know. It just hasn't. They haven't been spectacular. I mean, when you have Pogba, Griezmann, Mbappe, Dembele, like you expect, I guess, more. I mean, it's kind of been the same thing with Spain. I mean, I kind of lump Spain, France, and Brazil all together. Like, they've been able to get these chances. They played okay defense. Now, Spain got a draw and a win. France has 2 wins and 2 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws. And Brazil's got a draw and a win. So France is doing better than the two of them. But it just hasn't looked great. And it's not like they're playing against great competition. France played against Peru and Australia. They won 2-1 against Australia and 1-0 against Peru. They have a total of 3 goals. They just cannot find the back of the net. And when you have Pogba and Griezmann and Dembele and Mbappe, like you've got to find the back of the net. I mean, they're going to get out of the Group C. They're not worried. Got one game. It's against Denmark. I think they're just out, right? I think they're already out because the only person who could threaten them would be Australia. 2-1 points. Yeah, they're in. Regardless of what happens, France is moving on. It just depends on if they want to finish first or second. If they lose to Denmark, they'll come out second. So I mean B plus. I don't know. Maybe I should have brought Spain down. Spain's probably a C. Spain's a C. And then France can have a B minus. It's just been I mean, everyone's really happy with the way the World Cup is. I think they like the competition. When you have these star power teams, I just expect more. I mean, I've watched so many 1-0 games, which I mean, I get it. Soccer doesn't have much. It's just when you see these teams, get in the 18 and have these chances and then just completely whiff. To me, that's just bad quality. That's not about soccer as a sport not having goals. That's just been a lot of poor quality by these teams, and that's what I don't expect. I mean, they're not playing each other yet. They're not. It's not 1 versus 2. It's 1 versus 70, and you can't score. It'll be interesting to see what Uruguay does. Uruguay, where are we? Uruguay's number 14, so they'll be playing against number 70, Russia. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Brazil finds themselves in a similar position as Spain. They've got 1 win and 1 tie, and it was almost it was it was almost a catastrophe for Neymar. Neymar fell in the box, had a perfect chance, but he got hit. I think the guy like touched his back or something, and he just fell to the ground. And then did not get the PK because of video assistance review. And you have to understand, there's been a lot of PKs called, so that just shows how egregious what Neymar did was. I mean, we're already at 15 penalty kicks called for this tournament. But Neymar just takes a dive. I mean, he might as well just get out in a pool in a Speedo and start. And maybe see if he can qualify for the Summer Olympics. He can at least be on the in the drama club. But he redeems himself later that game. They ended up getting a 2-0. This was, I believe, this was yesterday against Costa Rica, and it was a much better showing than against Switzerland. You got to understand though, Switzerland, and Brazil, that's a battle of the Titans essentially. That's 2 versus 6, but no one really thinks Switzerland's going to win the World Cup. I mean, that's the problem with the FIFA rankings. They favor teams who don't play friendlies. It's not that you should ignore them, but nobody really thinks Portugal's going to win it all, and they're ranked number 4. I mean, basically, it's Spain, it's Brazil, it's Germany. It was Argentina. It's not Argentina anymore. It's France. We'll see what happens. But to get to Germany, that's just holding back here. I want to get to Germany. Germany, reigning world champion Germany, ranked number 1 in the world by obviously FIFA, but like almost by every single strength, like power rankings I've seen. And they go out against Mexico and just lay a fucking egg. Just their form is just terrible. They end up getting 1-0'd against CONCACAF legends Mexico. And then, I mean, they had lots of chances. To be honest, like this has actually been my like qualm with the whole cup is I'm watching all these teams. They have tons of chances, but they cannot find the back of the net. And you give credit to the defense, but I'm going to be honest, when I'm watching a team play Iran, I'm not giving credit to defense. I feel like it's just bad offense and not good defense. So for Germany against Mexico, I mean, Mexico is a fine team. They're from CONCACAF, though. They shouldn't be beating, or Germany shouldn't be beaten by them. That's exactly what happens. And they were very, very close to almost getting bounced from the tournament today. Playing against Sweden, they went down 1-0. Hold on. We're getting there. But they were down 1-0. And they were able to bring it back. Tie the game up. This is 1-1. And Sweden was just happy as all get out. All right, hold on. Let me switch this up a little bit. Let me switch this up to display capture. Oh. Where's that on the top? There we are. and it's the 94th. It's 94 minutes and 33 seconds. Dermaz with Sweden tackles Germany right outside the box on the left side, and they put Tony Kroos for the free kick, and the following ensues. The dude just taps it to wrist and then puts it right into the side net, curls it around the keeper, and it was just it was a thing of beauty. Just absolute beauty. I was working on this podcast while I was watching. Oh man, I tell you, it is a day to be a German fan. I am not, but congratulations. I have one of my coworkers. He's actually going to go to Germany. He's going to go to Russia. Sorry, to follow the Germans. Basically, he's going to go after the group stage when they go into the knockout. And the way that the tickets work for the World Cup is you go through the country, because he's from Germany, and you buy tickets to follow them in the knockout round. So wherever they play, you get to play. But if they get knocked out in the groups, you get to see 0 games. He's already booked his flights. He's already booked his hotels. And then they go get 1-0 by Mexico and nearly, 30 seconds from getting knocked out against Sweden. And Kroos just crushes it. What a beautiful goal. What a beautiful. If you haven't seen it and you're listening to me on the podcast instead of watching me on Twitch .tv/Hector Meow, then look that up. It's Kroos, Kroos, goal against Sweden. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And this is just the group stage. We have, this upcoming week, we have two more games for the group stages. We still have Group H that needs to play, and we're gonna have Japan. There we go. We have Japan, Poland. And we have Senegal versus Colombia. So we'll have a little bit of that tomorrow. And we'll see. Hold on, give me a second here. 24th. Oh, and we have the English game. That makes sense. I was like, when are we playing? Yeah. And then we have English Panama. So, did I say Colombia, Poland, Senegal, Japan, and English Panama tomorrow? That'll close up game 2 for every single group, and then next week will be the game 3. I'm gonna be honest, I'm East Coast. I work during the day. The World Cup's been fucking awesome. I love Russia. I don't really want to ever go to Russia, but I love having the World Cup in Russia because the first game starts off at 7 a.m. Next game's at 11. Next game's at 2. I get to watch soccer. I just have it on the background basically all day, and it's just, it reminds me of March Madness. It's just awesome. I was the best. I love the end of March Madness, but I love the beginning. It's so much. The round of 64 and the round of 32, when you just have games going all day, every day for it's 4 days straight. I think is it 2 days of? I think it's 2 days of for the 64, 2 days for 32. Yeah, and then they have a break. Oh man, it's the best. That's what this World Cup feels like, though. except it's like 2 weeks, and then the games don't overlap, so I get to see every single game. No, I'm excited. We got another week of this, so let's buckle up and get ready. Germany should make it out of the round. We should have all teams except all of these 6 teams except Argentina. And it'll be interesting. And then we have some other storylines with Russia just devastating their group. See what happens with Uruguay. And I mean, honestly, the only other group that we have is Japan, Senegal, Poland, Colombia. And Japan with that win is huge against Colombia. I wonder. I'd be curious. I didn't see. I don't remember whether or not this. I don't think it's their first win, but it's. I mean, all of the Asian teams hardly ever get wins, so it was huge. I know that's South. Yeah, it must have been one of their first wins. So congratulations to Japan. We'll see. Right now they're tied for the first with Senegal against Portland and Colombia, or Poland and Colombia. So we'll see what happens with that group. I'm still pulling for England. I like rooting for the underdogs. And England seems to just collapse like a flan in the cupboard every World Cup. So we'll see what they can pull out this year. All right, let's swap. Let's move on from the World Cup. We got another week of that, so that's excellent. Let's swap over to the NBA draft. Yeah, I want that, but there we go. NBA draft. What happened this past Thursday? Well, actually, yeah. I guess might as well just pull that little graphic up. We're going to talk a little bit. Now, I don't want to break down every single. Let's move me. There we go. There we go. All right. I'm not going to break down every pick, but I do want to talk about the we'll talk about all the lottery picks, so 1 through 14, and then a couple of spicy ones out of it. I'm from Atlanta, so I'm not a diehard Hawks fan, but I mean I always root for my Atlanta teams. So we'll talk about a couple of those and some of the heartbreaking stuff. What it means to be an Atlanta sports fan. So leading up to the draft, everyone was there's a couple of these picks that just kind of fell into place. DeAndre Ayton opened up coming from Arizona, going to the Phoenix Suns. I mean, it's a fine pick. Dude's a tank. He's 7'1". He's jacked. Kind of reminds me of Dwight Howard coming out. I mean, just like from a muscle, just how strong he looks. But I mean, and I don't hate the pick. I mean, I think he was probably the third best player in the draft. I would have taken him third. But they got him from he went to the University of Arizona. He's gonna go play for the Phoenix Suns. He'll sell tickets. He looks like he'll be a fine player. He's got potential. I mean, it seems like mostly they were just built a little bit of drafting on physical ability. I mean, you look at him, he's a physical specimen. He's huge. So I don't know. I give it an A-, just because I feel like the draft there were just better players. I mean, this draft had a couple of just amazing talents that I mean, not everybody's sold on Marvin Bagley, who's our second pick, but for sports, I have 2 teams that I support die hard, and that's the Atlanta Braves and the Duke Blue Devils. And my boy Marvin Bagley III coming out, I mean, he reminds me, not that his game doesn't remind me, but I remember when Kyrie Irving was coming out of Duke. I remember watching his first game against Kemba Walker. And Kemba Walker, just to give some context, Kemba Walker's coming off of winning he's supposed to be the best. He's supposed to be the best point guard in college. And he's coming off of a great season at UConn, coming into his senior season, and he goes up against Kyrie, and Kyrie just absolutely destroys him. And this is freshman Kyrie. I mean, his handles were sick. So I knew immediately, all right, this is number one. He's the number one pick in the draft. Now, same thing with Marvin Bagley. I watched Marvin Bagley play probably 20 plus times this season, and the dude can just ball. I mean, he's got an NBA body. He's got the springs. I mean, I know people are hating, saying, "Oh, he can't play defense." When you have his motor, I mean, he averaged 21 points, 11 rebounds, and you're going to tell me that the man can't play? Now, have a little bit of hope, a little faith. I think they can coach him up on defense, but his offensive game, he will average 20. I mean, average 20 and 10 at least in the NBA. I mean, give him a few years. I mean, this. He was a he declared early to be a freshman, so I think he has potential where he could maybe average 25 and 15 a season. And at that point, who cares what his defense looks like? I mean, I'm not saying who knows what he can do. I imagine he'll be able to pull together his defense as well. I think that it was a great pick at number 2. I personally, I don't know, it's torn. I probably I would have taken him number 1. Pick number 3 is pretty good. So I was torn between Bagley and Luka Doncic, our third pick coming out of Slovenia, playing for Real Madrid. He's 19 years old. He's been playing professional ball with Real for several years now. Just won the MVP in the Euro League. Just won the Euro title and the Spanish title. And I mean, I think he's the first. He should have been the first pick of the draft. And now, see, what you have to understand here is the Atlanta Hawks had the third pick, and the Atlanta Hawks drafted him. But they're the Atlanta Hawks, so then they traded him because they are a horrible franchise that will never be good. And that is physically painful. They traded him for pick number 5. I'm going to spoil pick number 5 right now, where they drafted Trae Young, who's probably one of the biggest boomer bust people in the draft. Yes, I understand Trae Young in college could shoot threes. He's also 6'1", 178. Like, he's a twig who has no athleticism. Yes, he can pass, he can shoot, but if you can't get by people, if you can't defend people, I mean, you're going to be a poor man's Stephen Curry. The only problem is the only reason Steph Curry works is because he's the elite version of everything. He's the greatest shooter of all time. You're not going to be that. And you're still not going to be able to play defense. And I think honestly, with Stephen Curry, the only reason he works, in my opinion, in the league is because he has Draymond. I mean, I think he still plays anywhere, but I think we're not talking about him in the same stratosphere. I mean, yes, he would still be the greatest shooter of all time, but you'd be like, yeah, but when he's in playing defense, he's the other team, can just score at will. See, that's my worry with Trae Young, and Trae Young is 3 inches shorter than Steph Curry, and less athletic, and Steph Curry can't play defense. I mean, and my Atlanta Hawks just traded. I get it. They have another first. They have a pick. They get an additional pick next year. But just damn it. Why? Why do this to me? I knew it was coming. I'll be honest. I heard some rumors like 2 days before the draft that the Hawks were going to take Luka Doncic. I knew the only reason those rumors were coming out is because they were playing mind games and trying to get somebody to trade with them. And that's exactly what they got. And now we're fucked. And now we have Trae Young. And it's one of the worst. It's probably the worst pick in the draft. Feels good. Feels good to have the Atlanta Hawks make the worst pick in the draft when they could have had fucking Luka Doncic, Euro League MVP, playing against grown-ass men at the age of 19, and now we have Trae Young. I just damn it. That's just damn it. Why? Why? I mean, that was. Oh. All right. I'm moving on. I will not pay attention when Luka Doncic tears the league up for Dallas. That's it. Dallas Mavericks is who Luka went to. Pick 4. We had Jaren Jackson going to the Memphis Grizzlies. I know a lot of people are really high on him, and I mean rightfully so. He's like 6'11". He's got decent. I mean, his defense looks pretty good. He's got really good production in college. Let me pull that up. Pull this up. I mean, we're looking at a. Oh my goodness. There we are. I mean, he had good field goal percentage. He shot 51% from the field, but I don't know, when you're a power forward, 51% is not that impressive. Most of your shots are going to be coming from right next to the hole, and then he shot 39% from 3-point. He looks raw. I mean, he still probably has the most potential of anybody left in the draft. He's not a horrible pick at 4. I would have preferred him to go back to college for another year. His 3-point shot, despite shooting 39%, looks just horrible. He has his elbow, his shooting elbow out to the right. He needs to bring that inside. And I mean, the biggest risk with any of these players, I mean, we can look at their physical abilities, we can look at the skill that they have attained, but it really comes down to how hard do they want to work. Are they looking forward to just yucking it up in the pros, like, hey, I'm making millions? Or are they Kobe Bryant? Are they LeBron James? I'm going to get in the damn gym at 6 a.m. in the morning. I mean, when you draft a guy like Jaren Jackson, that's what you're hoping. I mean, all of these players have to do it. They all have to learn. He's definitely the most raw of the first 4. I mean, he just looks a little bit uncomfortable with his body still. But, I mean, at pick 4, I can't really question. I mean, his defense looks good. He's got great instincts. Look, sees people coming. So I'm fine with it. It's a fine pick. I mean, it's a solid pick. I'd probably give it an A. Picking 6, we had the Orlando Magic take Mo Bamba. Hold on. Got to bring up my Mo Bamba tweet. Mo Bamba, this. Oh, of course, it's too low. There we are. Mo Bamba is going to be. He was taken 6th in the draft, but his number is going to be 5 because he is Mo Bamba number 5, and I think that is delightful. If you never heard of the song Mambo Number 5, you're probably much younger than me, but you should just look it up. It's a horrible song, but still, Mo Bamba looking for. I mean, this dude is, again, he's kind of like Ayton, just not as polished and not as jacked. Ayton looks like a superhero, a giant superhero. I don't even when they draw superheroes, they don't make them look like DeAndre Ayton because he's too big. I mean, they don't make him 7'1". They make him 6 feet but just jacked. This dude's 7'1" and jacked. Mo Bamba's 7'1" as well, but his superpower is that he has 7'10" wingspan. 7 feet 10 inches. That is enormous. The dude can swat people's shots like it's nothing. Um, I mean, if you can find someone who's 7'1" with a 7'10" wingspan and can play and has a little bit of, you know, body control and can play basketball, I mean, the dude's got amazing potential. He been leaking a lot of things about how he wants to shoot threes, but we'll see. We'll see. He looks good. It's a fine pick six, fine little pick six. My boy Mambo number 5. And now he has one of the best, uh, you know, nicknames in the league. So I don't really know. I mean, it'll be interesting. I think it's a weird pick for the Magic, but I like it as a pick overall. If you're just going for the best man on the board, I think it was fine. Pick 7, we had Wendell Carter coming out of Duke. Marvin Bagley's sidekick in the post. Great pick here. Wendell looks great. Just an all-around great, good player. He's not Marvin Bagley. He doesn't have the. He's got a little bit of lead in his shoes. Doesn't get off the floor like Bagley, but man, he just looks good on the court. He can a great passing big man, very aware of his surroundings, plays good defense, can score. I'll be very interested to see what he can do in the league. He's going to the Chicago Bulls. I mean, he's the type of guy. I think he's the type of guy who will be in the league for the next, 10 to 15 years, just as long as he wants to play. You just don't find too. I mean, people are comparing him to Al Horford, and I think Al Horford is horribly underrated. So I like him. I like it. Great pick there at number 7. You're picking quality right away, so that's good. Number 8, coming out of Alabama, going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, is Colin Sexton. I recommend looking up some highlight reels for Colin Sexton. The man, I mean, he looks great athleticism, great game. I think it's a solid pick. He can get to the hoop. He can pass. He dropped 40 in a game. He was carrying Alabama practically all by himself. It'll be interesting to see what he does. See if LeBron wants to come back to play with him. I like that the Cavaliers didn't pick to keep LeBron. I don't think this guy works next to LeBron that well, but you start building for the future. I think he fits in really nice next to Kevin Love. I'll be interested to see. Hopefully, hopefully for Colin, LeBron doesn't go back. I think it's a good time actually to cover that. Hopefully LeBron. I don't know. My personal pick for LeBron. Now this is a little sidebar here, but what I want for LeBron is I want LeBron to go to San Antonio, and I want him and Kawhi to stay there with LaMarcus Aldridge, because I'd love to see them play against Golden State. We would have Golden State, we'd have Houston Rockets, and then we'd have San Antonio. San Antonio with LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge, I think is the best team in the league, hands down. I don't think there's any question about it, because I think that LeBron is the best player in the league, and I think that Kawhi Leonard is, when healthy, the second best player in the league. I do think he is better than Kevin Durant. I think that he plays better defense. I think that he can actually guard Durant, which virtually no one in the entire league can do, and that Durant can't guard him, which I think makes him a better player. I remember watching him against San Antonio in the 2000, not this playoffs, 2017 playoffs. Undeniably was the best player on the floor before Zaza fucking Pachulia stepped underneath his foot and took him out. So I definitely, that's my dream. I want him to go to San Antonio. I want him to play with Leonard. I want Leonard to stop being a bitch and to stop trying to jerk around the best franchise in the NBA. You've got Greg Popovich, one of the best coaches of all time, and they've over the last 15 years, they've been the best franchise. They've won 5 championships, and our boy Kawhi Leonard can't just chill out. He wants to make more money, wants to have his face on because he has no personality. He has to go to the Lakers so that he can get more endorsements. Look at LeBron, buddy. LeBron's in Cleveland, one of the worst sports towns in the world, and he's doing it just fine. All you have to do is not be a potato. I know you're a potato, but you just don't be a potato, and you can get endorsements. You're the second or third best player in the league when you're not being a bitch about your leg. Like you have it. Everyone would love to endorse you. You just have to like talk to people. I mean, like look at Russell Westbrook. He's not as good as you, but the man's got flash and style. Anyway, that's what I want. I don't think that's gonna happen. That's what I want. Um, Kevin Knox. Oh, this is a good one. Hold on. Our boy Kevin Knox going to the New York Knicks, flashing a little bit of style. Not that one. Flashing a little bit of style at the draft. Check out this. Check out this Fortnite jacket. On the inside of his jacket, he has Fortnite. Now, see, I'm not. I've watched a little bit of his game. I'm not like a huge fan, but it does give me hope with some of that Fortnite love. So I don't know. I think he's okay. I think if this was a reach, I would not have taken Kevin Knox. I think there were better players to take here. I mean, dude's a beast. He's like 6'9", 230 or something. One of the heavier players. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Slotting him in next to Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know. Not my pick. Not my pick. I would give this one I'd give it a C. But I do love the style. Like me some Fortnite suit jackets. All right, that's number 9. Moving on to number 10, we have Mikal Bridges being drafted by the 76ers and going to Phoenix. See, I think that now, so basically they traded him, Mikal Bridges, for Zaire Smith. So the Philadelphia gets Zaire Smith instead of Mikal Bridges, and they get like an extra pick. I mean, I like the pick of Mikal Bridges. I think that he's got decent hops. He's a little slow off the dribble. Nice progression in 3 percentage. He's gotten better every single year. I think he's just a solid player. I mean, I really do like the pick. I really don't like the trade. I like Zaire. Here's the thing. I think Zaire Smith picked at number 16 by the Suns. I think he's got great potential. I love him as a player. I like his ability to cut. He's got amazing athleticism. It'll be interesting to see how. It's just very interesting to me that they would trade Mikal Bridges, who fits in nicely with Ben Simmons, who can't shoot but who can dribble, to get this guy, to get Zaire Smith instead of Mikal Bridges, just to stockpile a pick, I guess. I mean, Mikal Bridges came off as just like a glue guy, which when you're on the cusp, I mean, the 76ers just, I mean, they made it to the second round of the playoffs. They played against Boston. I mean, I know Boston will be great next year, but I just think Mikal Bridges brought more to the table. It'll be interesting. I mean, I'm excited for Zaire Smith, so we'll see what him and Simmons, and we'll see if what Simmons does, being that he's dating a Kardashian. That's a whole different topic. But that's some maddening shit right there. If you're an NBA player and you see a Kardashian or a Jenner, they're all the same family, just run the other way as fast as possible. Just run. Just run, please. I mean, if the NBA should put a clause in people's contracts, you can't be involved with any business venture or sexual relationship with the Kardashians. All right, for number 11, we had somebody who fell down a little bit. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Out of Kentucky, going to the Hornets. The Hornets are probably the second worst franchise in the NBA. Our boy Michael Jordan, not quite the owner he was the player, but Shea Gilgeous, I mean, he should feel really fortunate having him drop down all the way to number 11. I would have expected him to go a little earlier. So I think this is a good pick. Solid point guard. It'll be interesting how his game translates. I mean, he's the guy. He's actually like one of the in Kentucky. Kentucky always gets has like super classes. They always get some. I mean, I know Duke's been competing with them recently, but in the past it was like always Kentucky getting like the top five, like top three out of the top five players in a draft class, um, in a high school class. But they've been getting less. But that being said, Shea Gilgeous Alexander wasn't in any part of any of that. But he's the one who took over because he was the best player on the team. So I mean, I like this pick. Good pick at number 11 for the Hornets. Was, I'd say, one of Jordan's better decisions. He didn't try to overthink things and try to grab like Michael Porter Jr. or something. Number 11, we have the other Bridges. Coming out of Michigan State, we've got oh, I didn't even see this one until right now. Apparently our boy Jordan overthought himself because Shea Gilgeous-Alexander did not end up a Hornet. He got traded to the Clippers for Miles Bridges. That's interesting. I like that better. I like I don't know. I don't really care for the Charlotte Hornets. They're just disappointing. They remind me of the Sacramento Kings, who are in fact the. I don't know if I think I've used this superlative, but this is the last time, and the true time is the Sacramento Kings have been the worst basketball franchise over the last 10 years. They have ruined people's careers because they don't know how to manage a team. The GM, the coaches. I mean, you got to understand, I went to school at BYU when Jimmer Fredette was there, and the way they handled his career was just misery. He should not have gone to them. He should have dropped lower, gotten on a team where he could have been kind of a supplementary piece instead of next to Tyreek Evans, who is a point guard who doesn't share the ball. You're not Russell Westbrook, who still shares the ball and averages a triple-double. Like, yeah, Tyreek. It was like the worst possible fit for Jimmer Fredette. I'm really glad that he's had like a second life out in China, and I hope he makes his way back to the league. But anyway, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander going to the Clippers. Miles Bridges going to Charlotte. Miles Bridges is I think this is an appropriate spot for him. He's a good-looking player, sophomore, and going to Michigan State. I think Michigan State, the fact that I think they severely underperformed. I think Tom Izzo did his worst job this year he's ever done coaching the Spartans. I mean, just goes to show you had a player go number 4 and number 12, and you can't do much with them. Good solid pick. I mean, I think it's weird the trade picks 11 and 12. Why don't you guys just pick your own players? But then then the Clippers, they got a good player. Then they went and grabbed Jerome Robinson with pick 14 in the lottery. I mean, the dude's got skill. His athleticism is just meh. I don't see him as a pick 13. I mean, that's the thing with the NBA draft. It's such a combination of like why and when you should draft somebody. I mean, I guess we give people a pass if they get somebody at 12 and then they do a really good job. But I still think that's an overreach. If you could have grabbed them at pick 18 or something, then it would have been better to trade down if possible. I mean, the goal should be to be able to get these players the last place possible. I mean, like that's what makes That's what makes the Celtics so amazing, is that they traded traded down and still got Jason Tatum. And that's what makes the 76ers look so foolish with Fultz, is Jason Tatum is clearly the best player in that draft, and they got him at 3 instead of 1. But anyway, I don't like the pick for Jerome Robinson. I just solid player. I mean, the athleticism is not there. If he can't get past somebody, if he can't guard anybody, then it doesn't matter how talented you are, unless you got the old man game and you're just backing people down. But when you're a shooting guard, it doesn't work like that. It'll be interesting. Weird pick. Our last pick in the lottery is Michael Porter Jr. Now I'm gonna be honest, I love this pick. The dude's got great potential. He's got a great body. He looks. I mean, if he was 100% healthy, this draft obviously goes completely differently. I mean, he's top 4. He's right. He's up there with DeAndre Ayton, Bagley, and Doncic. I mean, the dude, he's 6'11", and he's got a great frame. He seemingly can ball, had great potential coming out of high school. The problem is the dude's injured. I mean, he looks super stiff walking around. He had to cancel one of his workouts prior to the draft because his back was stiff, or hip, because his hip was hurting him. I mean, I think that's why we saw him fall. But I think 14 is fine. I mean, he still deserved to get drafted. And I'm glad he's gonna. And the Nuggets are, the best team out of the lottery. That's why they're the last pick in the lottery. I don't know. I like it. I'm glad they're. I think it's a great pick, even if he has to sit out. So it's good stuff. All right, now I'm just gonna. That's the lottery. We had 8-1 to the Suns, Bagley 2 to the Kings, Luka Doncic going to the Dallas Mavericks after the Hawks. It's painful. Trae Young, God. Jaren Jackson going to the Grizzlies, Trae Young to the Hawks, Mo Bamba to the Magic, Wendell Carter to the Bulls, Colin Sexton to the Cavaliers, Kevin Knox to the Knicks, Mikal Bridges to the 70s, to the Phoenix Suns at the end of the day. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to LA, Miles Bridges to Charlotte. LA Clippers. Jerome Robinson to LA Clippers, and Michael Porter Jr. to the Nuggets. And just a couple. I just want to pick a couple more from the next ones. Pick 16 or pick 17. Sorry, 16 was Zaire Smith going to the Suns. We already talked about. Pick 17 is Dante DiVincenzo. I said going to the Bucks. I mean, I like it. I think it's an interesting pick. He's a guy who was on nobody's radar. He was like a sixth man coming off the bench at Villanova, but he just exploded, basically winning them the national championship. So it was a good, and everyone didn't know if he should stay in the draft. So let's just put it this way: he made the right decision going 17th. You go in the first round, you made the right decision. Lonnie Walker going to the Spurs at number 18. Very interesting pick for the Spurs. Like I told you, I want LeBron to go to the Spurs, and him to stay there with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, prior to the season, was my favorite player. So it's interesting to see. Lonnie Walker is kind of boomer bust. He could be another steal for the Spurs when the Spurs got Kawhi Leonard. It just depends on how healthy he stays and it's what kind of mindset. I mean, if you're going to have mindset, the best place to go to is the Spurs. So I like to pick. Another one. Then this is another one from my Hawks. That was 19 with Kevin Huerter. Obviously I'm a Duke fan, so ACC. I actually haven't seen much Kevin Huerter, but I'm actually kind of excited. I think they might have made a good pick. I mean, dude's lanky, 6'7", can shoot. I mean, his athleticism is, but I mean, he works on that, keeps shooting. I don't know. That's a decent pick. The last one I got is Grayson Allen, another one of my Duke boys going in the first round. That's 3 Duke players. Duke went 2, 7, and 21. Not too fucking bad. But Grayson Allen, senior, famous for tripping people, but he's my boy because he plays hard, hits threes. I'll be very interested. He's going to the Utah Jazz. Gets to play alongside Donovan Mitchell. They had a nice moment after the pick, so I'm excited actually. Um, I wanted him to go to the Celtics. I thought that'd be a great spot. I mean, who doesn't want to go play for the Celtics? They're like I would if I was an NBA player, I'd be like, please Celtics sign me. I think they're one of the most exciting young teams possible, and one of the favorites for the um, to win the championship next year. Actually, I think it's them and the Warriors right now, depending on what LeBron does. But that's the NBA draft. I think it's all very exciting. It was been a long build up to this point, so I don't know. Other than my boys, other than the Hawks trading Doncic, I liked the draft. It was watching Doncic go to the Mavericks was physically painful. Physically painful. And I didn't cry. I may have wanted to cry. I'm not that big of a Hawks fan. It was just like I was so excited to have something positive. I mean, I'm a Doncic. I mean, I've watched like 20 highlight videos of him. I was just excited, and now he's gone, and I could have actually gone to see him, like that. I could have gone to see him, like that. That was my like. They're just north. They're just. Oh my goodness, they're just there in Atlanta. I could have gone to see him, and now he's a fucking Maverick. All right. I'm not. I'm not salty. I'm not salty. All right. NBA draft. Moving on. Now I want to touch on Fortnite. There's been as we all know, Fortnite basically just destroying Twitch altogether. I mean, we got people from Ninja to Dr. Lupo to Myth to Hamlin to Daquan. I mean, people just blowing up numbers. I mean, Ninja's throwing up 200,000, stuff like that. That's it's like a revolution. It's crazy. But so one of the things that's been happening, so now they're trying. Epic Games is trying to figure out how to create kind of a pro scene, to a competitive scene for Fortnite. But Keemstar created a Fortnite tournament, Friday night Fortnite tournament. It's been happening the last 7 weeks. It's a duos tournament where, if you haven't been watching, basically two teammates. Basically, they join up as a squad with 2 other people, and then they slay out, and they play 2 games. Team with the most kills wins. So it's been going on. This is this past week was the 7th week, and I just after 7 weeks, I got curious. I wanted to kind of know who's been performing the best. I mean, obviously Ninja's the name. He's the man with the 200,000 views. He's the face of Fortnite right now, essentially. But he's not actually the one who's performing the best right now. Not in this duos. I mean, I know the duos format is a little bit random. It's about, rotations and trying to slay out and just who can find the worst players, but also find the most players. Anyway, so what I did, and I'll bring this up now. I hid this, but I'm gonna bring it back. What I did was I took the results for every player who's played in a tournament game, and I gave them. You'll see them by how they placed on a given week, either first, second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, or ninth, and then and then I gave them points according to how they placed. So if you first place is worth 10 points, second place is 9 points, third place is 8 points, fourth place 7 points, fifth place 6 points, seventh place 4 points, ninth place 2 points. And as you can see, we have quite the top 10 here. We got our boy Tfue up there at the top. Oh, and the other thing I did is I captured how much people have been making. So we'll take a look at kind of where they're ranking according to points and where they're ranking according to money. After the podcast, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this up in the Fortnite subreddit. So I'll share this spreadsheet with the world. You can check it out, and I'll keep this updated every week when we get some more results. But we have Tfue coming in at number 1 with 52 points. He's played every single round. He has played and placed every single tournament. And he is not only number 1, he is number 1 in money and number 1 in placement. He is tied. At his first week, he didn't play. Tfue played with FaZe Banks, and he's been playing with Cloaksy ever since. And they have just been destroying the tournament with 3 wins, a 3rd place, and a 4th place, earning each of them $15,000. Individually 15, so 30,000 together. Coming in tied with Cloaksy in second is, I'm going to be honest, don't know how to pronounce his name. Avery? Avrixry? I don't know. Brother, be honest, I don't know. He's got 48 points, $11,500. He is tied for, or he's second in points, 3rd in earnings. And then our one of our favorite TSM, we've got Hamlin's in 4th, both in money and points, $10,000 and 43 points. And we got, and I guess we'll just keep on. Next is Noah J456. He's at 37 points. Tied for 5th in points with King Richard, and 8th in earnings. So King Richard's got 37 points, but only $5,000. Where Noah J has got 37 points, but $6,500. And now Myth, who's got 1 fewer point than King Richard and Noah, is tied for, so he's 7th in points, but he's got $6,500. And there's actually multiple people beneath him who made more money than him and have fewer points. Because the only people who make the only rankings that get you points is 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. But points wise, we do a little bit different. So number 7 was Myth. Number 8 is Ninja, coming in with $3,500 and 35 points. Typical Gamer and Sore Thief, they have played together every single time. They are tied at 9th with 31 points and $8,500. A couple other notables we've got on here is Daquan coming in with the 12th most points and $7,000. And then Cypher, PK, and Nick Merckx coming down here in 10th in earnings, 15 in points. And actually, surprised. Let's go ahead and let's sort this by earnings real quick. We got a couple of people. Oh no, he didn't make any money. What's interesting to me is we got like Rice Gum coming in 23rd in points. He's got a 5th place and 2 9 places. And then we got some people right here earning some of that green, but they've only played they only did it. They have a 3rd place. We got Opsec and Svenos. Svenos has a 3rd and a 9th. I think he played the other ones too, just didn't place. And then Opsec, I don't think he played it. I'd have to look back, but I don't think he played. But he took 3rd once, so he got a nice $1,500 little bump. And then Aimbot Calvin, if you look at him, he's actually King Richard's duo partner since the 1st of June. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna throw this online, and on a Google, it'll be a shared Google Doc. You guys can check this out. I'll keep this updated. But we got a nice little top 10 form here, and I think I think the format's really interesting. I like the duos format. I'm really going to be really excited once. I'll leave this up while I finish talking about Fortnite. You guys can check it out and then check it out afterwards too. But I'm going to be really excited when they make more of a tournament format on Fortnite where you can create your own game. Right now, Fortnite only allows you to click that Battle Royale button. You can do solos, duos, squads, or whatever the flavor of the week is. I'll be very interested once individuals can create tournaments and create private games essentially. I'd be interested to see if they do that or when. I know it's obviously possible because not because of the Keemstar tournament, but because of the Pro-Am they had at E3. So I'll be very interested to see when or if they do that, and then how they plan on doing the Pro Tour all together. I mean, there was a really interesting ESPN article, which ESPN esports they usually don't go together, but basically talking about kind of trying to do a Grand Prix where you would have like 20 pros go from town to town to town and then kind of compete for top rankings. I'm assuming that's kind of the way to do solos. And then the other way would be to do like squads, and then that would be more formal. And I mean, I don't think we have enough really good Fortnite players yet to be able to support a squads and a solos professional scene. I mean, I really do like the idea of the squad scene, though. I like the idea of these 25 teams going in every week and then winning out. I mean, I really do like that idea. That's kind of your standard. That's kind of what we're doing in the competitive scene in League of Legends and Overwatch, where these people are just like locked in. And they live in Los Angeles. They breathe in Los Angeles. Everything happens in Los Angeles. Like I said, that ESPN article had the idea of this Grand Prix. I like that idea. I think it's spicy. I think it'd be a hard sell to the top some of the top Fortnite players. I mean, I think a lot of them are still hungry and that would do it. I think somebody like Myth would be down, but I think it'd be a hard sell to somebody like Ninja. I mean, obviously Ninja's getting that green already with his sub count and all that. That'd be a hard sell to want to travel. I mean, I don't know are you doing it every week? If you're doing it every week, that's quite the logistical issue. And would someone like Ninja want to travel that much? I mean, obviously he's the face of Fortnite at the moment. Could you convince him? If you could, that'd be awesome. Um, I don't know if it'd be worth it to him financially. You'd have to sweeten the pot a lot, I think, for him to sacrifice potentially 2 days of streaming. I don't know. I think there's a lot of logistical issues. I mean, I think there's a lot of money to be made streaming, and that's kind of where one of where the issues comes is that like some of the best players, they make a lot of money streaming. Why would you want to go professional? I mean, obviously, according to our rankings right now, number one and number two are Tifu and Cloaksy. In this duos format, they're the ones bringing home. Bringing home the bacon. They're the ones tearing it up. So, I mean, one of the things with Ninja in this format, just FYI, is that Ninja, if you haven't been paying attention, has actually been changing duos partner almost every week. I think he played 2 with King Richard, but he's been bouncing around. Yeah, he played right here 518 and 520. They placed 5th and 2nd. But every other week he's played with somebody else. He played with Lupo one week. He played with Hysteria this past week. I don't know. I mean, I think it's very interesting. I obviously Tifu and Cloaksy are ridiculous. I would love there to be a pro scene. I'd love to see how they're going to do it. I think I'd really like to see them to release like what I was talking about, a tournament where you can create your own closed matches, invite only matches. I do like this duos format. I think the only bummer is the kind of the regions, in my opinion, and some of the randomness. But I really like the fact that they're just playing with randoms. I just think that right now this is only slaying out. Like kills are the only thing that matter, and I don't really like that. I guess I would like to see something more with what Summit 12G. I don't know if you're not familiar with his duos format, where you get points for kills. Kills are important. Where you place is important. All that, but you get points for doing little things like opening supply drops. You get points. There's just more to the game than just killing, and I like that because I think that it gives a different priority. And I also liked the most important thing with his format is that if you did duos, you went up against each other. Like if you both are the best in that game, you're going to come at each other at the end, and one of you, Oh, and there's like extra points for killing each other. I think I really like that format. I'd like to see something like that. I think that just killing is. I don't think that's enough. This game has more to it than that, so I would like to see something beyond just killing. But I don't know. Take a look at this. If you have any thoughts about the NBA draft, about where Fortnite's headed, hit me up on my email. I got 2m2s@gmail.com. You can hit me up at the Real Sam Shannon on Twitter. You can come hit me up just in my DMs on Twitch. It's twitch.hectormeow, twitch.tv/hectormeow. This is basically all for sports this week. Lots of stuff I didn't cover. Some stuff I just barely touched. But we'll be coming back here next Saturday at 8:30. If you want to catch up with politics and culture and psychology and all that kind of shit, that's Tuesday night, 8:30. We doing sports Saturday night at 8:30. So if you hit up the podcast on Spotify and Stitcher, you'll see the sports ones are always going to be 0.5. Everything at the politics and culture will be the just the solid numbers. This week we had episode 12. What would it take? Where we talked about what it would take to change your opinion, and that was episode 12. But we got some good shit in the past that I definitely recommend going back and checking out. We got stuff. Hold on one second. I definitely recommend going back, and we got stuff we're talking about the political climate. We got some movie reviews, social media, kind of where social media. That's episode 3, breaking down kind of where social media is, where it's going, how does it affect us. Episode 4, we go with our unpop, myself and my sometimes co-host Ross going into the unpopular opinions. Anyway, check out all the catalog of all the different podcasts if you're catching us, and you can catch that in the videos here on Twitch. I got them all saved, or you can catch us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, basically any place you can find your podcast, we're at. And you can, if you wouldn't mind hitting us with that follow button, hitting us with that subscribe, 5-star rating on whatever you're listening to, it would be much appreciated. If you have any comments or ideas, like I said, hit me up in my DMs, send me an email, send me a tweet, just message me on Twitch or on Twitter rather. And yeah, I appreciate you listening, and I hope you have a great week. Peace.